What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the weekly wrap-up report. As always, this is not financial advice, just my own entertaining take on the news of the week. If you learn something new, give it a like for me. But what is going on this week? What is going on with the price action? Today at work, this week at work, it was absolutely insane. It was like 104 degrees every day. My fingers, I had never got trigger finger before, but my two middle fingers got stuck to my palm. I could not get them up. The cramp in my forearm was insane. It was just like an insane burning feeling for like 4 hours that just would not go away. And tomorrow is my favorite day of the year, Crab Fest, which everybody that goes there is basically a Hoge holder. So eventually, when Hoge goes, it's going to get converted to Hoge Fest, and a bunch of strangers are going to start showing up. But right now, it's Crab Fest. We play volleyball, eat crabs, and just hang out and party all day. It's a great day. But here's a little dirty secret in life. Value only exists when something is hard to get. When you flood the market with infinite copies, you don't just kill the economy, you kill the meaning. When nothing is rare, nothing is valuable. And that's what gets me into the Hoge updates this week. So thank you for everyone that reached out and gave me a comment or two about the Burn Goddess interview. I had a lot of fun making that video. So if you got to watch it, again, thank you for checking it out. I got to express exactly why Hoge Finance is so special to me and so many others. Hoge Finance is backed by an unchangeable smart contract, and that smart contract makes there less tokens every single day, and every single day you wake up to more Hoge tokens in your wallet. So with Hoge, there's a 2% transaction tax. 1.2% is burnt, sent to the Burn Goddess, the Burn wallet, out of circulating supply forever. And we have over 60% of that supply already burnt. The remaining 40% goes to all holders of Hoge. So if you have a Hoge wallet, every day you get a couple more tokens. Some days you get a lot more tokens depending on the volume, because it's all magnified by volume. But I brought on the Burn Goddess last week to give you a real idea of how the burn works and why being a 4-year-old meme token is so insanely special. Our supply is out. It is already owned. It is in a wallet somewhere in the world. And every single day, even if that wallet is lost forever, forgotten, or won't be in profit till we're $100 million market cap, it will continue to receive more and more Hoge. So if we do get that next viral moment, and we do have that group or that one person that comes in and is like, yo, let's send this Hoge, the Hoge squeeze will be magnified and scarcity will be shown. And again, the human mind has not had to comprehend scarcity yet. It's whenever you want it, we just go get it. The only scarce thing we have is time. And as you all know, if you work, you don't get a lot of free time. So the shit that is scarce is what's valuable. So if ETH is going to be a thing, Hoge is not going anywhere because it's an unchangeable smart contract backed by absolute scarcity. And as you know, anyone that shares the Hoge wrap-up report from Wednesday with the Burn Goddess, you enter into the Hoge contest to win $50. So two winners will win, random winners will win $50, and then the share that has the most interactions will win $100. So there's $200 in prizes out there. So just give the episode a like, a share, a funny comment, and get some new eyes on the information. Next week, we will be launching episode 2 with Hoge and James Wynn. I will interview both of them as we launch the movie He's Coming. A 2-part trailer, both Matrix, James Bond, Dune, like just a little bit of everything mixed into this movie. And I hope you all will enjoy it as well. But this week's a normal weekly wrap-up report, so I'm going to get into the news of the week. So money is our time and energy in abstracted form. It is the thing we all work to acquire for the things that we need in life. It can take whatever form it wants in this digital future that is coming. Just 0.27% of the population can hold one full Bitcoin. Owning one Bitcoin puts you ahead of 99.73% of the world. And that's if it was dispersed evenly and every person could only have one Bitcoin. 0.27% of the population could have that. As you know, there will never be 21 million whole coiners out there. So the max maybe we'll have is a million of them, especially with all this news that came out. So billionaire Jack Dorsey just launched the BitChat on the App Store. It's a new Bluetooth-based messaging app. You don't need Wi-Fi, no cell phone service, and it's fully end-to-end encrypted. So obviously you can also send Bitcoin through this, which is pretty cool. The SEC this week greenlights in-kind redemptions and creations for spot Bitcoin ETFs. So this is not just bullish, it is structural. ETF shares can now be swapped directly for real Bitcoin. Not dollars, not IOUs. So before this, ETF market makers had to buy and sell Bitcoin with cash, which added a bunch of friction, some slippage, tax headaches, etc. And now they just hand over Bitcoin and the ETF gives back shares, or vice versa. It's cleaner, it's faster, it's cheaper. It's more like the gold ETFs, and it's more like how it should have been done. So this is a huge moment. If you hold a Bitcoin ETF at any time, you can swap it back to regular Bitcoin or just swap your own Bitcoin into the ETF for, safekeeping in case you don't want to hold your own keys. The CEO of JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, says he is a believer in stablecoins and a believer in blockchain, but not a believer in Bitcoin. Will this guy ever wake up? I guess some people will just not get it. For the last 3 months straight, institutions have been effectively buying up over 45% of Coinbase's daily Bitcoin volume. Do you think that's going to decrease? Think about that. The last 3 months straight, institutions have bought 45% of all of Coinbase's daily volume. And I think there's 160 companies that hold Bitcoin. That is it. So do you think that number is going to decrease? Ask yourself. Trump Media bought $2 billion worth of Bitcoin for its treasury last week. BlackRock's head of digital assets leaves the company to join the second biggest Ethereum treasury company, SharpLink Gaming. So that's a pretty big moment. BlackRock's head of digital assets leaves for an Ethereum treasury company. But let's talk about the stock of stocks. MicroStrategy had their earnings call yesterday. To give you a quick idea, Amazon was a $1 trillion company for 7 quarters before they ever posted a $10 billion net income in a single quarter. And that was Q4 of 2021. Absolute peak COVID. So they were a $1 trillion company for 7 full quarters, almost 2 full years before they got a $10 billion net income. Strategy just announced a $14 billion operating income in Q2, and they're valued at like a $130 million company. On Monday, they announced that they had acquired 21,021 Bitcoin for $2.46 billion, at an average price of $117,000, and has achieved a Bitcoin yield of 25% year to date. And they now hodl 628,791 Bitcoin. Absolutely insane. So I know, I talk about this company all the time, and the price went down. If you watch their earnings call, you understand like how insanely early we are in what Bitcoin is and how people understand it. So they announced, like I said, a $14 billion operating income in Q2, which was a $32.60 diluted earnings per share in just Q2. And they now hold 628,000 Bitcoin. They've achieved a 25% Bitcoin yield this year. Just in Q2 alone, the Bitcoin yield they've generated was 19.7%. So 6% in Q1 and then almost 20% in Q2. And they're already on an insane pace for Q3. So, it's going to be insane. And one of the wildest parts is they announced that they will no longer issue stock when their NAV premium is under 2.5. So no one really understands what this actually means. MicroStrategy is forecasted to have the 13th largest 2025 net income among all publicly traded companies. The 13th largest. But they are the 96th ranked company by market cap. And out of every single company that trades in the S&P 500, which MicroStrategy is currently not included in, they are traded at the 495th lowest PE multiple at only 4.7x. That fact they announced is absolutely insane. Let me break this down a little bit better. A company's PE ratio, or the price to earnings ratio, is a financial metric used to evaluate a company's stock price relative to its earnings per share. It shows how much investors are willing to pay for each dollar of a company's earnings. A high PE might indicate that the stock is overvalued or that investors expect strong future growth. A low PE could suggest the stock is undervalued or that the company is facing challenges. For a quick comparison, Google is trading at an 18x PE, Apple a 29x, Nvidia a 40x, Amazon a 36x, and MicroStrategy is sitting there at a measly 4.7x PE ratio with the cleanest balance sheet of any of those names. We are so early. Nobody understands what absolute scarcity actually means and what one company owning 3% of the global protocol for money in the future really means. They've issued 4 preferred preferred stocks, and are recreating an entirely new bond market with higher returns and better backing. So less risk and a higher return. Would you move your money from your bank account that gets you 0.6% to a possible 9% guaranteed yield backed by 10x over leveraged? I mean, it's mind-blowing. It's absolutely mind-blowing. And we are stealing MicroStrategy at a 4.7 PE ratio. They have no debt. They have, again, no product that can get messed up. No, like if Apple's iPhone, there's a new Tesla that launches an iPhone, a new phone. What's Apple going to do? It's crazy. But, the price is going to be the price. It's just a waiting game. Anyone that's a believer, it just allows us to get a little bit more. And now let me talk about GNS. Absolutely painful day for GNS holders. Down 13%, closing at 88 cents today. I'm blown away by the price action. Out of all the positive news that has been coming out, I had the perfect play. I went in big at 42 cents. I saw the setup. I rode it all the way up to $1.60 and all the way back down. And you know what I always do? I continuously buy it on the way back down. In my mind, I'm helping the company. I tell myself, oh, the shorts didn't see this 30K buy coming at $1.14. God, I am just so dumb. That's why I always say it's not financial advice here. Timing is not my strong suit. I tend to find high conviction plays and ride them for a long time. I didn't really see this going under $1, to be honest. With the company able to buy back over 20% of the shares. But if you have a long-term mindset, the price action helps them get even more financially structured for the future with the insane plans they have coming. So 2 weeks ago, they announced the Genius Act now allows Genius Group to apply to be a stablecoin issuer and a digital asset provider, service provider. So they are applying for both. Their vision has always been that students should earn as they learn, accumulating student credit instead of student debt. The educators, entrepreneurs, leaders, and students in our community all want this, and now with the passing of the Genius Act, we are excited to be able to accelerate our plans towards this. So they've put in applications to become a non-bank stablecoin issuer. They plan to become a digital asset service provider, issuing their own stablecoin to power a global learn and earn model, enabling GEMS or the Genius Education Merits to evolve from internal credit into spendable digital currency, paying mentors, educators globally in real time, fee-free via the Genius Wallet. And they're rolling out blockchain-based courses and certifications that are verifiable, ownable digital credentials, and creating Genius Resorts and Genius Cities where students can use gems and stablecoins to pay for life, housing, food, entertainment, and more, preparing for Bitcoin-based payments with the Genius ecosystem. And again, they also hold 200 Bitcoin, with a stated goal of building a Bitcoin treasury of 1,000 Bitcoin before the end of 2025 and 10,000 Bitcoin within the next 24 months. And this week on July 30th, the Entrepreneur Resorts Limited shareholder vote passed. Each ERL share will now be awarded 3 GNS shares equaling 50 million shares. Now these 50 million shares will be locked for 6 months and be untradeable for this 6-month period. So again, it will not be hitting the market for a while. This also almost doubles GNS projected yearly earnings to close to $20 million a year. This acquisition was planned over 2 years ago and is now finally officially approved. And this also forces another legal share count vote. Again, with the short squeeze and all the legal action that they have. But with all that information public, the price continues to drop and drop and drop. Any day now, we should receive the updated court filings on 1 or 2 major legal cases that are set to come to an end. The GNS board passed the agreement that 50% of any settlement will go to shareholders and 50% will go to the purchase of Bitcoin for their corporate treasury. So for a company that's trading at a $77 million market cap, who holds $25 million in Bitcoin, has resorts now all over different countries, and is set up to possibly win 2 massive legal decisions for possible hundreds of millions, even possibly $1 billion in settlements. They're a Bitcoin AI education play, and the risk reward is way better down here at 88 cents than it was at $1.60. So again, not financial advice. Don't risk money you can't afford to lose. But I have, extreme conviction in this play, and I really think it's going to be huge in the next coming weeks. Some real quick Elon Musk news. Robotaxi expansion going wild real fast. So some new cities that are planned: Brooklyn, Houston, Tempe, Arizona, Henderson, Nevada, Tampa, Florida, Clearmont, Florida, Miami, Florida, and San Diego, California. Starlink satellites will be able to broadcast direct to your mobile phones. There will be no dead zone anywhere in the world for your cell phone. Your phone will still work even if there are no cell towers around. And lastly, Elon Musk, the Boring Company, has officially announced that it's building a tunnel loop in Nashville, Tennessee, at no cost to the taxpayers. So people will be able to ride in Tesla vehicles through the loop when they start building that in Nashville, Tennessee. That will be the second city behind Vegas. But again, I know it was a crazy week. It was a fun episode. Look, I know the audio got delayed on X when we posted the video. I tried posting it 2 other times and it got delayed both times. So I am afraid that next week's episode is going to have the same issue where the audio doesn't match up with the video. But it sounds like it's just an X problem. So I did post it on YouTube, so you can go check it out on YouTube, and the audio is completely fine there. But as always, have a fun, safe weekend. I'll see you in the chats. Everybody, scarcity will matter. Tell everybody about it.